Hello. Yep, we are live. So, as always, greetings everyone. Welcome to another Shadow Council episode 42 to be exact. I'm your host, Laura Shadows. As always, welcome all of you followers of Darkness, Shadows, Scavengers, and Villain Aficionados. As always, welcome. Bienvenue, as I said, to another Shadow Council episode. Here I am, of course, with one of my good old fashioned members, TK, the lucky bastard. And today, oh boy, do we have a special news for you? More precisely, especially for TK. Yeah, but let's be honest. Be fair. TK is not going to be the only one who's going to share this glory. Okay, even I have been waiting for this. So here we are. We have been waiting. There have been speculations. There have been theories. There have been rumors. All sorts of different sources, mostly fake. But hey, I'm just being honest here. Okay.
No, that's right.
Yeah, I'm just being honest here. I mean, most of them were fake. Almost every single Dragon Ball fan has been wondering, where is it? When is it going to come out? It feels like unfinished. When it's going to happen? When, and how? Well, here we are. After 8 years of waiting, Dragon Ball Super has finally returned. Ish. Well, yeah. He has returned in some capacity, basically. But so basically, that's why me and TK are here today to kind of go into deeper conversations about not simply the Dragon Ball Super continuation news, but also some other additions that, for me, mostly were very surprising. Although for a normal Dragon Ball fan, I suppose it's not a big surprise because those kind of things already happened in the past. But we're gonna go step by step, with our crazy, very own bonkers discussion, as we always do. So yeah, as you can see from the title, I already mentioned, yeah, it has finally returned. It's here. Yeah, as Charles Manson up would say, it's here. Yeah, but this time we're not talking about a bird. We're talking about Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Super. Yeah. Anyway, I just want to ask you, seriously, I want to hear your overall first impression / reaction. What did you thought about all this news, basically coming out of nowhere?
So, first of all, I was a little bit surprised that fans were actually right that they're remaking at least the Beerus and the Golden Frieza. I was a little bit surprised that because that really sounded like a complete fake out, but apparently it was true, which I don't necessarily disagree with doing that. To make the animation consistent. But one thing I was a little bit glad about, at least for the time being, is that they're not. So I'm glad we're then going to jump right into Moro, and they're not going to then take. They're not going to take Broly, or they're not going to take Superhero first or Broly, and break them up into TV episodes like they did originally with Beerus and Frieza. So I'm kind of glad they're just jumping right into the new one. I think the Galactic Patrol. That's the one I'm most excited for.
Oh, me too. Believe me. We're gonna get to the Galactic Patrol a little bit later on, But yeah, when it comes to my overall first reaction, I'm telling you, man, even I'm excited to finally see Moro on the screen. Because as a lot of, I've seen some Dragon Ball fans not being too much impressed with the Galactic Patrol prisoner arc, and especially with Moro as a villain. But I don't know what they were smoking, but for me personally, Moro is one of my top 5 greatest Dragon Ball villains ever created. And if you look at story wise, it is definitely one of the most powerful, more challenging opponents that Goku and Vegeta has ever faced.
Well, I kind of like it. I'll be honest, I haven't actually read it in the manga, so a lot of it's going to be new to me. I've looked online, so I know the gist of what happens, but one thing I'm really excited for with it is to see Vegeta's for me, it kind of finishes Vegeta's like redemption arc, because I think there's a point in it where like he saves the Namekians, and that kind of comes like really full circle for him, because like in season 2, or like I don't know if it would be season 2 or the end of season 1, but one of those two, he like winds up slaughtering like almost all of planet Namek. So it's kind of a cool like full circle character moment for him. So I'm kind of excited to see them adapt that.
Trust me, I mean, I haven't read more precisely this particular arc in Dragon Ball Super manga for like quite a while, but I still do remember quite a few things. But so I will only say this: be ready when the time comes for the Moro arc to be released. All I will say is be ready, because there's all sorts of stuff that I remember from the arc when I was reading the manga that happened that even I was like blown away. So that's all I will say. Be ready. But anyway, so I want to ask you, like in summary, with like all these news put together, not simply like the Galactic Patrol, but Beerus and F, but like all of it together as basically general Dragon Ball news. I mean, what were your first overall reaction? For like both news.
I think my first reaction was holy crap. Especially for the Galactic Patrol, because I did not actually think that we'd get that. So I'm a little bit surprised. I was also a little bit relieved whenever I found out that the Galactic Patrol was going to be a series and not a movie. I think Dragon Ball, in my opinion, does better when they do series and not movies. But I was surprised, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget, when Akira Toriyama wrote Broly, let's not forget that he came with a studio with 300 pages. So try to cut that out from like, give yourself that challenge to try to cut 300 pages to 100.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nuts. But yeah, I mean, before, like I said, we're going to go through all sorts of like all the two news and everything, but first I just want to talk about a little bit briefly about that wonderful trailer. Like it kind of made me emotional a little bit when I watched it, but I had to talk about the Dragon Ball 40th trailer. I mean, it was a trailer of basically everything that happened from the beginning of Dragon Ball all the way to Super, but also at the same time included the overall announcements of like the Galactic Patrol and everything. But first and foremost, I just want to say I cannot believe it's been 40 years ever since Dragon Ball was created.
Yeah, I can't believe
40 years.
So that means it started 19 when? I'm not good with math, but wow.
It started just a second. I'll tell you. So it's been 40 years since it was created. 1984.
Wow.
Yep, 1984.
Wow. I'm surprised that wow.
Yeah, I mean, like I seriously, like when I was watching the trailer, like I said, there was all sorts of things that were like basically happening inside me, like from goosebumps to like like childhood memories to like like I said, I even got a bit emotional at some point during the trailer. But the one thing that I was really blown away is that the soundtrack for the trailer was made by, I cannot believe I'm saying this, Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, that I'm sure there's a story there how they got him.
I mean, that came out of nowhere for me.
No, that came out of nowhere for me too. Like whenever I read that online, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, because I feel like maybe they're gonna do like a mixture of like iconic Dragon Ball intros or something. Their overall themes, the theme music. So I feel like it's gonna be like a mixture of something like that. But then after the very first part of the music, I was like, okay, that's new. I was like, okay, I'm impressed. Like emotional, strong, a little bit jolly at the time. It really felt theatrical. in a way. And then basically I was like, wow, I mean, they really did they really did some hard work on the overall soundtrack. So I was really curious who did it. And then I learned it was Hans Zimmer, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I was really surprised. Like at first I thought like, wait, is there another Hans Zimmer or something? And then I looked up and I was like, whoa.
Well, I mean, with the soundtrack they put in the trailer, well, I can tell you right off. No, I can tell you right off the bat. There's only one Hans Zimmer, and that's the guy who does soundtrack like this.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was surprised too because it really like I was surprised because it really fit. I would actually put him in the same league as I might get some hate mail for this, but I would actually put him in the same league as Bruce Faulkner.
Okay. I mean, it's not actually. I mean, honestly, it's not that controversial or anything, But I mean, I can kind of see where you're going with this. I can kind of see that. Yeah, but I mean, I can go on and on with the soundtrack for the trailer, but I mean, Hans Zimmer is one of those composers that with his music for like all sorts of movies that he did, he basically okay. Let me put it this way: Hans Zimmer for me, it's like you're on a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, my point of view on Hans Zimmer's music is like you're on a roller coaster, and you're riding through almost every single most like dangerous, emotional, powerful like tracks you can find. Like it's basically a, I want to say emotional roller coaster. I would say it's like a almost like a dramatic theatrical roller coaster. I mean, if I'm making any sense.
Yeah.
Because like his music, basically, if you're on this roller coaster, like you're going through all sorts of human emotions. Like I said, from positivity to drama to tragedy to anger to sadness to like nostalgia, like all sorts of emotions that a human being can feel. That's basically what I think of Hans Zimmer, through his music. And when I was watching the trailer and I saw that music and I was hearing to this music, it literally, with the slideshow and the animation, everything that they showed in the trailer, from like the very beginning of Dragon Ball all the way where we are now, it basically brought all sorts of emotions to me. And I'm telling and like I said, that is what Hans Zimmer does. I mean, how did you felt when you were listening to the music?
Yeah, I felt the same way. I mean, I was really surprised how well it fit Dragon Ball. Like, I wasn't sure how well it would fit, but it really fit, and I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the one thing I can forget is also the overall animation they did.
Yeah,
it was very impressive. Like from like from like classic 3D animation, kind of like also blending it with like the manga designs of Akira Toriyama, and going through all sorts of different like arcs and sagas and everything. Like it was like I would have to say when it comes to like celebrating a franchise anniversary, I mean they hit the jackpot with this trailer. Yes. because this trailer really embraced all the 40 years of Dragon Ball's existence. So yeah. I was like blown away. I mean, how would you describe like your overall ride with this trailer?
I mean, I would really say same. I think the animation is what got me.
Absolutely. Yeah. It kind of sorry, go ahead.
The animation for Dragon Ball has just been really getting better and better too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. I mean, especially for me when it comes to Dragon Ball, I always kind of thought that it's like this particular franchise, where basically when the creator dies, you think like, the franchise will die with him, But for everything what I've seen, I mean, it kind of gave me an impression that the Dragon Ball franchise is in good hands,
Yeah.
and they know what they're doing, and that you can definitely also see that they're trying to they're trying to pay tribute to Akira Toriyama and all his work on Dragon Ball that he did in this like 40 years. Not to mention after the whole Dragon Ball Evolution fiasco. Yeah. I mean, so overall, with the overall animation slideshow, down memory lane type of trailer with Hans Zimmer's music, I mean, I'm telling you, like it was a emotional roller coaster.
If they, of course, he'd be really pricey if they did that. But if they ever do if they actually ever try another live action one, they ought to try to get Hans Zimmer.
And I'm kind of also curious because I really want to hear your opinion, your perspective on this. But for example, if one day, Toei Animation and the crew basically decide to do another Dragon Ball anime movie, how would you feel if they actually hire Hans Zimmer to do the soundtrack?
I mean, I think that could work.
I mean, because honestly, with the trailer, it made me feel like he transformed Dragon Ball into like a mixture of Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I think he could pull it off.
Do you think it would be too big of a change for like Dragon Ball fans?
I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I think Dragon Ball fans would just be like really geeking out that they got somebody like Hans Zimmer to do it, that like they would forgive like if it was a little bit different.
Yeah, but it's still crazy because like if you're celebrating the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball, they could have easily gotten any composer whatsoever. Yeah. They could have gotten anybody they wanted to do this like specific trailer. Not to mention like there are like so many great composers in Japan as well.
It's weird. Well, it's weird because the person who I would almost like, if I had like multiple choice of like composers in Hollywood that would score Dragon Ball, Hans Zimmer would be actually like the bottom of the list in my head, and actually Michael Giacchino, him,
yeah,
he would actually have been like who I would think like top of the list.
Yeah, Michael Giacchino. I guess he would be. I would say from like on the west side, on the west side of the world. I would say Michael Giacchino. Yeah, I feel like he would be more on the Dragon Ball level type of composer.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at, for example, the soundtrack that he did for the last two Zootopia movies.
Yeah, he would be. He would be like, if somebody said like, who do you think did the Dragon Ball song and I didn't know, I would probably guess him first. But I mean, Hans Zimmer are doing it. It could work. I mean, I think it would definitely be like you asked in your question. I think it would definitely be different from like Dragon Ball. I think it would be more like thematic. It would be more like, thematic isn't the right word. It would be more I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it would definitely be, yes, but it would definitely be different. But I don't know. I think a lot of people would forgive that it's different and just be excited that he did it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they could have chosen any composer whatsoever to do for this trailer. Anybody, literally anybody, all over the world when it comes to show business, literally anybody. And out of all of them, they were like, you know what? Let's go with Hans Zimmer.
Yeah,
it's like okay. No wonder. I mean, Hans Zimmer definitely had a big paycheck to do the composition for the soundtrack. Absolutely. Yeah. But there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that he would have done something like this if he wasn't a fan of Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
There is no way, because Hans Zimmer is a very high profile composer. So I'm telling you, there has to be some fandom for Dragon Ball if actually, like, he was interested to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, because I always said, like, if you give to a composer, in this case, if you give to a composer to do a soundtrack, if it's like an entire soundtrack or one composition or one music, the point is, if you try to give him something that is out of their traditional music they would do, okay.
Oh Jesus!
LOS is the Lord of Shadows is the king of Dragon Ball Z with his queen TK. Enjoy the show, everybody. Wow. Well, honestly, I don't know if I'm the king of Dragon Ball. I don't think I am. I'm maybe a duke or a count, but the king, I don't know. I mean, if anyone here between us, I would say you, TK, are the king. You like that, do you?
Yeah.
You like that, do you?
You know, FRC just gave me a thought. They should do an episode of Dragon Ball where they're all in the bath.
Well, actually, there's all sorts of like scenes in Dragon Ball in a bath.
That just made me think. I love that episode where Gotenks and Piccolo are fighting Boo in the time chamber.
Oh yeah,
They blast him into the bathtub, and Piccolo is like to Gotenks, "Get out of the bath."
Yeah. But for me personally, I mean, it's not a bath scene, but for me, my most favorite. Sadly, I know it's filler, but for me, my most favorite scene of all, or should I say, scene in general, will always be Goku and Piccolo getting the driving license. That for me will be priceless for all eternity.
Goku and Piccolo is like the longest temporary alliance I think ever.
Yeah, I mean exactly. All the way, it goes back basically all the way after the defeat of King Piccolo.
Yeah,
a little bit later after the defeat, but still close. Yeah, but anyway, I was gonna say that if you're gonna get a high profile, in this case, like I said, composer to do something like this, which is out of the traditional things that we'll usually do, a simple paycheck is not the only reason.
Yeah.
There has to be, I'm telling you, there has to be some connection. If it's like in these cases, there are two explanations. One, his children, or himself.
Yeah.
I think maybe the most probable idea maybe would be, I mean, I don't know if Hans Zimmer has children, but if he had children, I think like maybe the most probable reason would be the children kind of, put him up to it.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about it? Like, do you think he was a fan, or do you think he probably did this for the kids?
Honestly, I don't know. I think there's got to be. I think you're right. I think there has to be some kind of fandom involved there. I just can't imagine he would have done it for like just for like a paycheck.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're talking about a guy who did who did scores for Dune, Gladiator, The Lion King, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, Last Samurai, the Dark Knight trilogy, like No Time to Die, Dunkirk, F1. Like, we're talking about a guy who did like top level compositions.
Yeah,
so
I think it's definitely got to be a kid or there's a fandom somewhere.
Yeah, but honestly, I could also believe that he did it, just for fun.
Yeah, I mean, it would be fun.
Yeah, because whenever I talk about Hans Zimmer, he always kind of reminds me of that iconic picture when he was like on stage playing the guitar, the electric guitar.
Yes.
I don't know if you but every time when I see this picture, General Cole Y3W. Hi. Well, hello to you. Welcome to the Shadow Council.
Like the picture.
Oh yeah. Great profile, man. Great profile.
But why is his hair blonde? I can't tell.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe he loves gold. Maybe he loves the color of the sun. Who knows? I mean, we all have different styles. I mean, I've seen people who have the hair color of an entire rainbow. So, anything is possible. Anyway, with that being said, overall, like I say, really fantastic trailer. One of the greatest trailers in my personal belief when it comes to like celebrating an anniversary of a franchise ever made. Absolutely. So now I think we should go towards basically the main event of the Shadow Council.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, let's start with Beerus and F. So I'll basically the first thing I will do is that now we'll actually with the announcement of Dragon Ball Super: The Galactic Patrol, we also got the announcement they're going to do some sort of remaster of Dragon Ball Super, actually Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods arc, and alongside a little bit later on, they will do the same thing with Resurrection F, basically. And honestly, when I read the description, I mean, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Dragon Ball Kai.
Yeah.
It's basically because, like I said, those kind of things they're gonna do, they already did that before. But basically, before we go to this discussion, I'm just gonna read the official description, basically. So it says this. Dragon Ball Super Beerus is the enhanced edition of the TV anime Dragon Ball Super, for which Akira Toriyama created the original work, story, and character design. The project features extensive new cuts, revisions to existing scenes, a complete re-rendering of all footage, newly recorded dubbing with added score and sound effects, and the full reconstruction of the story. Now, this part is very important. Leading up to the same enhanced, this edition employs the latest visual expression to deliver greater power and immersion across all scenes, especially the battle sequences. The result is an enhanced edition that expresses Akira Toriyama's original idea and world building more accurately, that will be broadcasted with highly satisfying quality. Now, there's all sorts of stuff in the description that I really found interesting, because I do remember when Akira Toriyama did Battle of the Gods, there were a lot of things, just like with Broly, there were a lot of things that were cut and changed.
Yes.
Yeah, so with the description I just read, I mean, what kind of an idea you're gathering with this?
Well, first of all, this was cut, and I don't know if they can put this back in or not, but first of all, I'm kind of hoping that they put back in Goku wearing the cape. I don't think they will, but I'd kind of like to see that. But the animation, I mean, I think especially in that one, I think it really does need like redone a little bit, especially to be consistent with the rest of Dragon Ball Super. So I'm not completely against that. I feel like we got two kind of like retellings of two like versions of it already though, so it's kind of going to be a little bit old. But I like that they kind of cut the episodes in half. I think the original length was like 9 or 12 episodes, and I think I heard they've cut them down to like 6. So it'll be a lot easier, I think, to get through. But I don't know. I mean, I like the idea. I mean, I'll take whatever Dragon Ball I can get, especially since we probably won't get Galactic Patrol till 27. So I'll take whatever I can get. But yeah.
Yeah, but for me personally, I mean, look, also the other information that I also have to mention is that it will reportedly, it's not official, but it will reportedly be 6 episodes long. And also, like I mentioned before, just like they did with the same thing with Beerus, which is going to be released in the fall of 2026, the Golden Frieza arc will also be getting the remaster treatment. And so far, as they mentioned, with the same episode length. So that means that even Resurrection F is going to have like 6 episodes altogether. Now, at first, when I was reading this, I thought like, it was going to be like some sort of like a remastered like arc, basically being done the same way like they did Dragon Ball Daima, for example. But then after I realized that it's going to be just 6 episodes long, then immediately came to me like, Dragon Ball Kai. That was the first thing that came to my mind after basically reading through the entire description. And so like like I said, just like with Broly, and I think I don't remember. Like, was there also things that were cut from Resurrection F as well?
I feel like there were. Yeah, there were. I feel like the TV version, I don't think we had Goten and Trunks. No, I mean, the movie version, I don't think you had Goten and Trunks. Or I don't think you had them fusing in the movie version. I think the TV version, you had that.
Yeah, because I do know from like all different sources and information that I got across the years, I do know that Broly was cut a lot because it didn't mention the actual script had like 300 pages, so they had to cut a lot of things down. And I do know that Battle of the Gods also had some like things that were cut off. So when they mentioned in the description, because like I said, this was very important. When they mentioned that this enhanced version is gonna basically express Akira Toriyama's original idea and world building more accurately, that means that basically in the 6 episodes, I think we might actually see a lot of things that was cut off.
One thing I would say is if they're with Resurrection F, one thing they could do is they couldn't fix his character, but they could fix at least how he looks as Gohan. Because I never understood. You have Battle of the Gods, Gohan has the spiky hair. And then you have Resurrection F, and Gohan has the like whatever hair he had. And then after that, the rest of Super, he goes back to the spiky hair.
Yeah, I get you. But
and Gohan's character is a little bit painful to watch in Resurrection F, just because of how weak he is and how they kind of like really give him the shaft there. But
I will say this: at least in Superhero, they actually give him more to do.
Yeah.
Because like I would say that I really like that they kind of like shelved, or should I say pushed aside Goku and Vegeta and basically concentrate more on Gohan and Piccolo. I felt like in Superhero, I felt like that was a pretty good idea.
Well, one thing I would like to see them adapt into the anime, and I don't know if they would adapt this before the Galactic Prisoner or after, and I think they could even adapt this as like a side thing. I think they'd be smart to adapt the part right after Superhero where like Goku and Gohan have the fight, like on Beerus's planet, like the end of that like manga thing. I think they need to adapt that because I think that'd be cool to watch. I think that'd be cool to see in animation.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with you. But so like for now, we just have to wait and see. But I'll be honest with you about something. I never understood. And out of all the animes, like Dragon Ball is the one who actually does that the most. I would say the closest to Dragon Ball when it comes to repeating certain things, cutting off and editing and adding and everything. I would say the closest to Dragon Ball comes Berserk, because they did a lot. Because the kind of thing they did to Dragon Ball, they're doing with Dragon Ball, they also did with Berserk as well. So when I read this particular news, it kind of also reminded me of Berserk, because they did a lot of different versions of Berserk as like anime or movie, like all the time. But anyway, I never understood why they do this. When I was watching Dragon Ball Kai, I never understood why they would do like almost like an updated version of the original anime. Or certain arcs, I never understood, like even for Beerus. I mean, sure, I was more interested in like the newly updated animation. That was really cool to see. But I don't know. I mean, cutting it down to like in this case 6 episodes as it was reported, and basically showing just simply the most important bits and everything. without actually kind of like fully showing the story, even if it would have been for like the third time. I don't know. I mean, like for this kind of Dragon Ball type of like projects, I mean, I never understood like the reasoning behind it. I mean, what do you think about it?
I mean, I get cutting out filler. I mean, in the case of Kai, I get that. Now I think whenever they redub the voices, I think the voices sound a lot different than the original. I kind of prefer the original Funimation dub to Kai. Um, I feel like the one who's the closest. I mean, a lot of the voices are the same. They just like have different tones. I think the one that's the closest is Chris Sabat as Piccolo. Chris Sabat's Vegeta voice sounds like he's on the toilet. He's trying to pass a nice poop. So, but aside from that, I'm not too bothered by Kai. With Beerus, I mean, I kind of get cutting out filler, although I don't know how much of it is I don't know how much of it is really filler. But I like the idea of doing it if there is stuff they could cut. I'm kind of curious to see what they cut and what they leave in. My guess is I don't know if they can cut Boo or Boo being the catalyst or not.
I
But
think
that
like
something that they might shorten that. I don't necessarily know if they need to redub it. Especially, I have a bad feeling they're going to redub Vegeta's line about doing that to my Bulma. I have a feeling that probably wasn't actually in the manga, and they're probably going to dub over that, which is a shame because I kind of like that.
honestly, I mean, you hit my Bulma. I mean, I mean, first and foremost, that is something that Akira Toriyama will definitely like. That is something that he will definitely do in the manga. Like basically, literally make Vegeta say, "You hit my Bulma." Like that is something I can definitely see Akira Toriyama do. So I don't think that was filler. I think actually now in the manga, I'm not like I said, I'm when it comes to Dragon Ball, I'm mostly an anime viewer. You know, like the only time actually I ever read the manga was basically after the whole universe survival saga. You know, like the Mora arc, the Granola, the Survivor saga. You know, and others like because like it was kind of interesting to see where Dragon Ball Super went. But I do remember like going back to Battle of the Gods and kind of like going through a little bit of the manga.
Yeah,
Because at first I was like it's a Dragon Ball Z movie, but then later actually I was kind of surprised that they actually put it as a manga as well. But nevertheless, like I mean honestly, it's kind of difficult to kind of like add to your thoughts because when I watch Dragon Ball, I watch it in the Japanese dub, in the original with the original voiceover. I don't because I'm not a big I'm not a English dub follower, basically. So, for example, because I'm telling you, like because in the actual Japanese version, when Beerus slapped Bulma, and when you see Vegeta like screaming like "You hit my Bulma," I would say this in Japanese. I mean, you should definitely hear him say that in Japanese. Like, I'm telling you, because the voice and the moment was, for me personally, way more powerful. Way more powerful. But again, that particular scene, that is something that I can see Akira Toriyama do in general. So I don't think they will cut it. I don't think they will. Because it's very important, especially when it comes to Vegeta. But the one thing I will miss, and that is his iconic bingo dance.
yeah.
That was hilarious.
I don't think they're going to keep any of that in.
But do you think they're gonna keep the when you mentioned Majin Buu? Do you think like they're gonna keep the whole pudding thing?
I think they could keep that, but I have a feeling they'll get rid of Oolong.
Yeah, I don't know. But honestly, I mean, look, maybe I'll give it a watch when it comes out in the fall. Maybe not, because like I said, the shortened versions of the original work, they usually those kind of things don't interest me at all. But I mean, I've seen the trailer. I was surprised. I was actually impressed with the animation. But I don't know. I mean, I guess you'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm kind of curious what I'm gonna be interested to see what they change and what they leave. Um, I'm also interested to see if they do it with the other arcs because they're doing it with at least the first two, but I wonder if they'll do it with the future Trunks. Um, they could probably cut out the copy Vegeta arc.
Mm.
They
You
could
mean
probably
You mean that purple slimy
yeah
Vegeta?
yeah.
Mm.
They could probably cut that out. I mean, the only ones they would really need to do after Resurrection F, I mean, they could do the one, the first Universal Tournament arc. They could do that. Although I don't know if that really helps with the overall story. I mean, if they want to do anything, and like if they want to go back through and do this, I would say do the Beerus, do Frieza, do Future Trunks, and do the Universal Survival.
I mean, honestly, the reasoning behind why they're doing this is it's kind of like basically it kind of makes me think like they're doing all this on purpose, like basically giving to the viewers and to the fans kind of like a short summary before they introduce the Galactic Patrol saga.
Yeah, and I also think too they're trying to make their animation more consistent.
Yeah.
Which does kind of make sense to me because I feel like it almost feels like watching two different shows, watching like everything up to Universal Survival and then watching Universal Survival in terms of the animation, because I feel like Universal Survival, that whole arc, the animation was so good, but like up to that, the animation was just kind of like, yeah, this is okay, but
I mean, Battle of the Gods, Resurrection. I mean, Battle of the Gods. There was a lot of moments. I mean, do you remember that controversial first fight that Goku and Beerus had?
Yeah.
And the animation that it was back then.
Yeah.
I mean, and also because since the very first time when basically the fans were complaining about the animation on the very first fight, you also have to remember. They redone that whole episode and they basically delete the original and uploaded the remaster version. Let's put it that way. Kind of like make it more look better. But when it comes to animation, I mean, Battle of the Gods was kind of like solid, simple traditional anime style that we usually have, like in the majority of the anime TV shows. Resurrection F, I would say a little bit better, honestly, a little bit better, but still kind of like in that solid ground level style. But with Future Trunks, the first tournament and the survival, I would say those are the three sagas. I think like the animation got better and better.
Yeah.
Like the very last saga they did, absolutely, the animation was like at its best.
Yeah.
But the first tournament and the Future Trunks one, I mean, they still had a much more improved animation. Like, for example, the remakes of Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. I mean, that's just me. I mean,
and I also think I'd almost like to go see them go back and redo Superhero with the regular animation, partially because like I like the animation in Superhero, it was good, but I almost would prefer to see the regular animation.
I think like with Superhero, I think that was like an experiment for them.
Yeah, for me personally, I don't think that it was fine that one time, but I don't think I'd want to see it like continually. I think I'd like to see more Broly animation than Superhero.
By the way, do you know who voiced Magenta in English dub?
Oh yes, what's his name? Charles Martinet.
I mean, when they announced that he's gonna do the English dub of the main villain of Superhero, I was like, what?
Yeah, that surprised the heck out of me. I was like, wait, what?
I was like, wait, you're having the main man behind Super Mario voicing the main villain of Dragon Ball Superhero, Dragon Ball Super superhero. I was like, okay, okay. I was like, it was weird. It was weird to me. But honestly, like I said, I'm not a fan of English dub. But because of him, I watched Superhero in dub as well. And honestly, in his voiceover, I was surprised. I was actually surprised how well he did his job.
I was really surprised. Like to me, I would never have known.
And honestly, I really love how at the premiere of Superhero, Charles Martinet was wearing the same magenta outfit as the main villain.
Yes,
That was cute. That was cute.
my only issue with Superhero was how they kind of underutilized Cell. I think they should have had him be smarter because I think a perfect Cell Gohan rematch would have been really cool. And if they do if they do anything beyond, like if they go through the Galactic Patrol arc and they go through Galactic Prisoner arc or whatever it's called, and then they go through the Granola arc, and like they do anything beyond Superhero, I'd really like to see them bring back like a perfect Cell Max and have him fight Gohan, because that would be cool.
Yeah. By the way, let me just check. I was going to ask you, like, wait, when tragically when Akira Toriyama when he passed away, did he actually finished the Dragon Ball Super?
Really?
No. I'm asking you, like, did he actually finish it?
I don't think he did.
Because here's the thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I feel like the I could be wrong about this. I feel like the add-on, like that last chapter where, and I haven't seen it. I'm assuming it's coming out in a manga issue, this year, I think. But the add-on where like Goku and where Gohan and Piccolo go to Beerus's planet and Goku and Gohan wind up fighting. I don't think that was Toriyama.
Because after Granola the Survivor, you had the high school saga,
Yeah,
and you had the superhero saga.
yeah.
And those, if I remember correctly, those mangas were finished. Those sagas were finished. So I guess, like, theoretically, I mean, I guess, like, with the facts, I guess, like, Akira Toriyama finished.
So then I wonder. So I wonder, once they adapt all that, I wonder if they'll do anything beyond that.
I don't know. I mean, I know, because, like I said, from what I've seen from different news around Dragon Ball, so far, no one wants to touch Dragon Ball. I mean, like, because I've seen some, because, like, basically the company was asking, like, different, like, creators from, like, different like basically different mangakas, if they to basically continue Dragon Ball, after Akira Toriyama's death and everything. And so far, what I've seen from the news, from the information that I gathered, none of them wanted to touch Dragon Ball. None of them.
Well, it would be a very gutsy move after they finish, like, the Granola, and after they finish, like, adapting whatever superhero stuff they want in animation. It would be a gutsy move to then continue Dragon Ball without Toriyama.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because, like, it's really questionable right now. Like, there's all sorts of question marks on my head when it comes to, like, who's gonna continue Akira Toriyama's work, because I mean, when you look at properly right now, because I checked the sagas for Dragon Ball Super is finished. Like, Akira Toriyama did Superhero Saga. That was the last one he did for Super, and after that, he did Dragon Ball Daima, and then unfortunately later on he passed away. So he finished Dragon Ball Super. So after Galactic Patrol, they still have like 3 arcs they can do.
You have the Granola arc, and then I would almost
high school. You have the high school saga, and you have Superhero Saga.
Yeah, and they could. I mean, the Superhero Saga, since they have the movie, I mean, I think they'll probably break that movie up and do episodes of that.
I don't know, but one thing actually, going back to what you just said, like because like when we were theorizing, maybe perhaps they're doing shorter versions of the sagas before Galactic Patrol. Honestly, now it made me think. I don't that perhaps they will not do anything after Resurrection F. I think like the only remaster they're gonna do is perhaps for Beerus and F, and then basically I don't think they're gonna do other remasters like before Galactic Patrol is finished. I think like now I'm guessing that they're gonna only do the first two storylines.
Well, they wouldn't really need to do any. The only other one that, in my mind, I could make a case for them doing is the Future Trunks. I mean, that's the only other one I can almost make a case for them doing. I mean, I don't think they necessarily would have to do that, but I think I think if they wanted to, I think that that's the only one I could really see them maybe doing.
I don't know.
They're doing the two that needed the most. I think.
Yeah, I mean, like for Dragon Ball Super, Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F they were kind of like the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. So those two basically are they make the most obvious choice to do like this enhanced remaster, but all the others, I don't think it's necessary.
Now I just thought about this. The only way we were just talking about how. Hang on one sec. I'll be right back. I got to run to the bathroom real quick.
Mm-hmm. Grab me some energy beans when you're done. Yeah. I mean, I still don't get the reason behind why they're doing the whole remaster of Beerus of the Battle of the Gods arc and Resurrection F. Because like I mentioned a few times, like it kind of brings me back to the Dragon Ball Kai times. I don't know. I really don't know the whole deal with this. I mean, why they're doing this, but whatever. I definitely guess that the Dragon Ball fans will definitely still watch, no matter what they bring to the table. Just like we did with Dragon Ball Daima, same thing. But we're just gonna have to wait and see. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious about the future of Dragon Ball. I really am curious what they're gonna do because so far, as me and TK were mentioning, none of the creators they like none of them want to touch Akira Toriyama's work. Which I definitely understand why. Because out of respect, and Akira Toriyama, he had. He was unique. I mean, when it comes to his art style, he was very unique. When it comes to his art style and the storytelling, so I can guess why nobody wants to touch it. But I mean, if they wish to continue with the Dragon Ball universe, they're gonna have to. They're definitely gonna have to take somebody to continue his work. But we shall see. We shall see. Maybe after Dragon Ball Super, the last arc, the last saga is done. Maybe they're not gonna do anything. Unless, I don't know. Maybe the only way they can continue doing Dragon Ball is for movies. I think it's possible. Okay. Yeah, but basically, to kind of, I just wanted to say that, so we can put this topic to the end. Basically, yeah, I mean, you and I were mentioning it throughout the entire conversation. Like after Beerus and F, I don't think they're gonna do others. I think they're just gonna do those two because they are special in a way. Although personally, nobody was asking to bring Frieza back ever since the movie was announced.
Oh no, here's a question though. I might watch the Resurrection F anime because I wonder something now in the English dub. I wonder if they're gonna reuse Christopher Arias's voice, or if they're gonna use the new Frieza voice like Damon Mills.
I forgot like who was actually the one. Which voice actor voiced him in the movie?
In the movie, it was Chris Ayres, I think,
Then perhaps I guess like they're gonna stick with him.
but he's dead though.
Oh right, yeah, he passed away.
So I wonder if they'll reuse like his voice, if they'll just reuse his voice, or if we'll finally hear the new voice of Frieza in the English dub.
I mean, honestly, if they're doing the enhanced remake of Resurrection F, I mean, I guess they could. I mean, I guess what they could do, they can do the same thing like I did with Christopher Lee in the War of the Rohirrim, where they basically used archived audio recordings of his lines throughout all the movies, and basically put them, put them inside the movie. So I guess they can do the same thing with the voice actor behind Frieza. Maybe use, like I said, maybe use archived voice recordings and just simply put them in again. I don't know.
I mean, it's going to be hard to tell because the new guy who voices Frieza, he sounds pretty close to Chris. I mean, you can sort of hear the difference, but he sounds close enough that it's going to be hard.
Actually, that's what I was going to ask you before we go to the Galactic Patrol. I want to ask you this: in the Dragon Ball Super like anime, in the English dub, did the previous Frieza voice actor recorded his lines, or he passed away before
So
Dragon Ball Super was done?
So honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I think in the DVD release, I think Chris Ayres is a voice of Frieza. I think in the TV release, it's Damon Mills.
So you think basically he was not the one who so basically he didn't return for the anime.
Yeah, I don't think he did. At least not the TV broadcast.
Yeah, because now I'm kind of curious.
I mean, they both sound. I mean, I've heard the new guy. The new guy sounds really, really close.
I'm kind of curious because like Dragon Ball Super started in 2015.
Yeah.
So let me just check. Frieza, Christopher Ayres, right?
Yeah. I might have that backwards. He might have done. No,
okay,
I think.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think Ayres did the DVD version of the Universal Survival. I think.
Let me check. So basically, okay, so he passed away in 2021. He was 56 years old. Let me see. Okay, let me go. Oh no! He actually did voice Frieza in Dragon Ball Super anime.
Oh.
No, he did. I knew. I mean, because I've seen some scenes from the anime, like with the English dub, and I did recognize that that Frieza's voice was similar, or should I say, almost identical, just like it was in the movie. So yeah, Christopher Ayres actually did dub. He actually did the voice dub for Frieza in the actual anime.
Okay. Huh.
Yeah, because I mean, like I did heard the news that he passed away. Like I said, in the early 2020s, he passed away. But also, Dragon Ball Super was done, from 2015 to all the way to 2018. So he still had time to record his lines and everything. So yeah, I mean, it kind of makes sense that he actually did the anime as well.
But I wonder if they'll reuse his lines or have the new guy dub.
I mean, like I said, they could either redub it with someone else, or they could use archive voiceover.
I won't be too upset if they use the new guy because he actually works. He actually sounds pretty good in the role.
I mean, honestly, probably they're going to use the new voice. I'm kind of with you. I think they probably use someone else to voice him. But again, if they used his archived recordings, I mean, I wouldn't complain.
Just as long as it's not calling Clinkerbeard. No offense to her, but
you mean, wait, are you talking about the voice actress who did the original Dragon Ball Z?
No, she did the redub Kid Gohan.
Oh, Wait, the actress who voiced Frieza in Dragon Ball Z, did she pass away?
No, I don't know. So she still voices Baba.
Yeah, but you know which voice I'm talking about.
Yeah,
The
Linda.
one, the
Linda
one that she, the
what's
one. I know,
her?
but she's the voice actress who voiced Frieza with that like, please,
Yeah.
I beg you,
Yeah.
like.
Honestly, so it's weird. So she voiced Frieza and future teller Baba, fortune teller Baba,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. So as far as I know, she stuck around as Baba, but they recast her as Frieza. I don't know why they did that. That always seemed weird to me. I mean, now
I mean,
Chris Aries fit, so I mean it wasn't too much of an issue for me, but the thing that's a bigger shock to me is that Krillin is also Bardock.
I mean, look, perhaps maybe I mean, first and foremost, I do apologize that I was like jumping all over the place while you were talking. I mean, look, maybe I know. I mean, it could be anything. Maybe it was too much for her to voice like two characters at the same time, which is kind of like redundant because there's a lot of voice actors who do multiple characters throughout one show. Or maybe she lost her voice to voice Frieza. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, there's all sorts of possibilities. Like, like maybe like I said, maybe she wasn't interested, or maybe they wanted someone. Maybe they wanted someone else. Maybe they wanted Frieza to sound more muscular, if that is even possible. Like.
Oh, that made me think. Speaking of recasting, I'm gonna look that up. Who's the new voice of Broly?
Honestly, I have no idea.
Because it was Vic Magana, but he had.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, Johnny Young Bosch.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. Wow. I'm just trying to. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Vic had lots of issues. I know everything, but he will always be Broly for me.
Yeah, he was a good Broly.
Yeah, I mean, he voiced Broly even like the most controversial Dragon Ball Z movie, the legendary Super Saiyan. Yeah, I mean, I know. I just loved his way how he screamed like Kakarot.
I just realized something. We're getting Galactic Patrol.
Yeah, so that's basically going to be the next topic we're going to talk about. But go ahead.
So if we're getting Galactic Patrol, I think it's probably a fair wager that after that they're going to adapt Granola. I don't think they're going to adapt one that's wildly popular and leave and say, "Oh, okay, we're done." I don't think they're going to do that. I mean, they could. I would be shocked if they do. Now, I don't think, if I were going to guess, my guess is that there will be like a gap between. My guess is like Galactic Patrol come out and that'll sit. So my guess is like Granola probably won't be. Galactic Patrol's 2027. I'm going to guess Granola won't be till 2030.
Nah, 2030 no. But if they actually announce they're gonna do Granola the Survivor, I think I think the earliest. I mean, I don't know. I mean, okay. I mean, I would say the earliest maybe is 2029.
I mean, unless they do what they did with the whole like thing with Dragon Ball Super to begin with, and they just like go like straight from Galactic. They just go after then animating this one. They just go right into Granola. I mean, which they could without announcing it, just like kind of like say like this is all just kind of say this is all connected.
You know, actually, how I think that they're gonna announce Granola. I think do you remember in Resurrection?
Wait, I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna eat granola bars.
No. Anything is possible, but no, I don't think they're gonna do that. But who knows? Yeah, but no, I think the way how I think they could announce Granola the Survivor. I think that they might do, for example, the same way how they teased future Trunks as a crate scene in Resurrection F.
Oh, okay. So okay, I kind of see that's not a bad idea.
I think that's one way you can do. I think like that's the most possible way how they can do it. You know. But anyway, so speaking of Super Galactic Patrol, that's gonna be basically the next topic we're gonna talk about. So that's basically what everyone was waiting for. Like not Beerus or F. Like that's basically kind of like a super fan bonus. But the Galactic Patrol, basically, because that is basically the official continuation of Dragon Ball Super.
Yes. Now, first of all, I just want to say two things. So, first of all, I want to go back and just add one thought really quick. So we were talking about how Dragon Ball could continue after, like Super's done, after Superhero, after that whole arc adapted, and there is one way it could continue. And I think it might be the way it continues, is do a Daima season 2. Continue on with the Daima stuff.
I will say this. I think because like here's the thing: when they did Dragon Ball with the announcement of Dragon Ball Super, the Galactic Patrol, first and foremost, I already got the idea that it looks like that they're planning to do basically give the Galactic Patrol the same treatment as they did with Daima. I think like it's going to be a number of episodes. I guess the Galactic Patrol, I guess maybe 22, maybe 30 episodes. It depends. I mean, the Moro arc is not very long, but like, you know, it's still like around 20 something episodes. I mean, it could be around 20 something episodes, but I feel like if they're gonna continue, I think they're gonna have the same treatment, just like they did with Daima and Galactic Patrol. I think like if they're gonna announce Granola the Survivor, I think like it's gonna be like its own anime, basically. Yeah. You know, and also in the same time, I kind of understand why they're doing this because you know they can pay more attention to detail, concentrate more on the style of animation to be like, you know, more richer, more colorful, more detailed and everything. You know, to make it as best as possible, because you know people can complain about Dragon Ball Daima all they want, but the one thing they cannot say negative about is the animation.
Yeah, the animation was great in that, and that you just made me think of something with the readaptation of Beerus. They can always add in a couple lines that kind of make Daima canon.
Yeah,
because
true.
The thing about Daima is, a lot of people I think why a lot of people didn't like it, I don't think it was so much the story. I think it was because there was a lot of stuff in there that wasn't canon. But I think when it comes down to Dragon Ball shows, for whatever reason, that's why a lot of people hate on them, is because they're not canon, which is weird because the MCU, there's so much canon, and like there's so much that's like canon and not canon, and like people don't seem to have a huge problem with it. So I don't get why Dragon Ball, but anyhow, I mean, with Beerus, they could easily just add in like a couple lines and make Daima canon.
Who knows? I mean, anything is possible, absolutely.
Because basically, is the Super Saiyan 4 thing, they could just make that canon easily with how he goes Super Saiyan 3. They could figure out a way to make that canon.
I mean, we should see. So basically, let me first start with this, you know, with like some of the information that basically came out after the announcement. And then basically we will start our deeper conversations. So first and foremost, like you mentioned before, it has been reported that Galactic Patrol is like in very early development and it won't release until late 2027, which is a bummer. But, you know, if it's going to have a pretty like, you know, good animation on Daima level, I will not complain.
Yeah.
So basically, the official description for anyone who haven't read the Dragon Ball Super manga, the official description of the Dragon Ball Super anime Moro arc is basically this. So this will be the story following the universe survival arc of the anime Dragon Ball Super, which aired between 2015 and 2018. So altogether, it's been 8 years since it finished. It also appears in the manga Dragon Ball as the Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc, which is the official name. The main characters, Son Goku and Vegeta, work together with the members of the Galactic Patrol, the Peacekeepers of the Galaxy, to begin a super-scale battle against the new enemy, the Planet Eater Moro, who is basically the Dragon Ball version of Galactus. Let's put it that way. I will say this, a little like funny information, which I thought was kind of cute. Are you familiar with the voice actor Neil Kaplan?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
He's the voice actor behind Madara Uchiha in Naruto.
Yes.
But well, basically, he expressed interest to voice Moro. And I mean, the reason why I thought it was cute because I do remember him voicing the character in the English dub because I've seen some of the YouTube scenes, and then I tried to compare the voice with Moro. Honestly, I could see him do the voice, but I think Moro should have two voices. One when he is
old and the young.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. One when he's an elderly Moro, and then when he basically transforms into a younger version. Basically, either the typical Dragon Ball transformation form, or basically after he basically returned to his like former self. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I like that comment. That's a good comment.
Let me see. Neo Theoni 97. I love Dragon Ball, but my problem is the Goku hate. I understand he's not everyone's favorite, but damn, everyone hates him. Yeah. Join the club.
It's funny about Goku because it's ironic because American media really screwed him up in the first version of the dub. In the first Funimation version of the dub, they made him heroic and they made him like this Superman, this like Dudley Do-Right, and that was great. And I think that probably actually made him connect more with American audiences at first. And then I think what a lot of people don't understand about Kai and then Super is Kai and Super are supposed to be much closer to the manga. In the manga, Goku really is more selfish and is more buffoonish, and he's not like he doesn't fight to protect people. He fights to get stronger. So the irony is people are getting really ticked off that Goku's actually closer to how he was in the manga.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with you and Neo Theoni 97. I mean, I definitely agree on your point of view, but I do also personally think that the overall Goku hate, I would say, is very exaggerated. I think like people have taken it into like nonsensical proportions. Let's put it that way.
Oh, the Goku bad dad. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I do think he is a bit of an absentee parent.
True.
I would probably argue that Piccolo is more of a father to Gohan and more of a grandfather to Pan. But I mean, I don't disagree that that's a little overblown too.
From some perspectives, I would argue that he is a bit of a bad father in a way, but also at the same time, he did show love for his children. Well, for his children, child, and how he protective he is and everything. And also, there's a lot of times, where people might think like he's a bad father, but he does some certain things that basically protects him.
The one thing I would say about him is they got to stop giving him senzu beans because he keeps giving them out to the villains.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I agree on your point of view. Absolutely. And by the way, anyone
doesn't he give spoiler alert, doesn't he give Moro a senzu bean at some point?
Yeah. Even he actually said the same thing as I do. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Okay. I know this is a big, because I didn't want to say anything because that's a big spoiler. but anyway, the cat is out of the bag. So yeah, he did. Which even I thought was stupid, but hey, let's make the villains more interesting.
Yeah.
Or at least let's make the villains more interesting for Goku to fight. Yeah, a Moro, and he breaks his hand.
I
I'm not
love
gonna. Okay. I'm
That's
not gonna go in. Neo Theone, I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about, but I'm not gonna say anything because of TK because he hasn't read the Moro arc in the manga. So let's keep it spoiler free because of him.
Oh, that's funny. He gives him a Setsumi.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's. I would definitely say like I think that's one of the biggest reasons why people didn't like the arc because of that stupid decision that Goku did. Yeah, thank you, Neo. Thank you for respecting my reasoning behind spoiler free. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Respect. Yeah, I mean that's actually one of the reasons. Like I said, that's one of the main reasons I think why people didn't like Moro arc because the whole sensu being thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but but also to give people kind of like some little information. Actually, yeah, that's some information. Actually, I can tell you as well. How much are you familiar with Moro?
Vaguely, he kind of Moro, sort of like how he's older and then he's younger, kind of reminds me of King Piccolo.
I mean, Moro, or as I like to call him, Krampus on steroids.
Krampus on steroids.
Yeah,
I like that. Krampus on steroids.
Yeah, I mean, basically, Moro for me was always kind of like Krampus on steroids, but especially the younger self. But basically, like I said, the reason why I said Moro is kind of like the Dragon Ball version of Galactus from Marvel is because he does the same thing. Okay, Neo has another comment. I do think they might try to add Daima stuff to the Super remake. We might get a dialogue about Super Saiyan 4. It is possible. Yeah, Theone, it is possible. Who knows? We might see that. But I do agree. There is a possibility. Absolutely.
Well, to that point, I wonder something else. I wonder if when they end Super, like when they get through like the Super arc, the superhero arc, I wonder if they somehow try to figure out a way to add dialogue that makes GT canon.
Who knows? Who knows? Like, I mean, GT, it's very debatable, but who knows? I mean, anything is possible.
I mean,
absolutely.
You could sort of make it canon. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we just have to wait and see. But one thing I will say to you, TK, basically, what I want to say about Moro, he's basically he's basically a wizard. Okay. Like he's not a typical fighter or conqueror or god or something. Like he's basically a wizard who 10 million years ago basically wanted to wipe out the universe, or should I say the galaxy. He wanted to wipe out the galaxy, but he was defeated and he was put in prison. And basically, the whole story starts with his prison break, basically. But I will say this: when Goku sensed Moro, I'm not going to details, but the overall reaction was basically something similar to like Xavier sensed Apocalypse when he said, I never felt power like this before.
Well, and in this arc, doesn't Vegeta finally learn Goku's one move that Vegeta's never been able to do?
Oh, come on. Are you really trying to push me to tell spoilers?
Instant transmission.
Oh, should I tell you this or not?
See, I only know that because I read it. I forget where I read it, but I remember reading that and thinking that that's kind of cool. I always felt like it always, okay. There are two characters I always felt like besides Goku should have known how to do that. I felt like Vegeta. I feel like it's been way too long. And I feel like Gohan. I feel like those two characters needed to learn that.
Look, I will only basically, but this is the last spoiler I will give you, the last one. But yeah, but to answer your question, yes.
Oh wait, I know one more spoiler. I also know that we meet a future unborn savior of the world.
To put it that way, yes. That's all I will say. Yes, I'm not going to go into details, but yes. But I think you're gonna like that part of the story. I think you're gonna like the revelation.
I also I love Fat Boo. So like anything that Fat Boo can be in,
oh my God! I really wish that there's so many Majin Buu moments in Moro arc. I really wish they're gonna keep them when they release the anime. I really wish they're gonna keep them.
Oh, I hope they do. anything with Fat Boo, I'll take.
Absolutely. But one thing I will definitely say.
Ooh, I just thought of something. That would be a great spinoff for Dragon Ball. Do
Go
a
ahead.
Fat Boo and Mr. Satan like odd couple.
Oh my God. This would be a full-on Akira Toriyama style comedy.
I don't care if there's fighting in it. I would just want to see their like day to day. Oh my God, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would literally be the odd couple. Literally.
Oh my God, that would be so awesome.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, but like, I mean, it would be cool, but I don't think they will ever do it.
No,
but I think
they'll never do it. But that would be such a cool spinoff.
Yeah, true. Anyhow, so I mean, as I mentioned at the very beginning, the anime, unfortunately, well, like I say, it's a real bummer. It's not going to be released until like the late 2027. So we can imagine he's going to have the same release date, maybe something like Daima.
Yeah.
Like,
and my guess is over here, if it's late 2027, my guess is it'll probably be.
Oh shit! Yeah, the first one is going to come out is going to be the Japanese version, and
yeah.
Oh,
we're not going to get it till. We'll probably get it early 28, because one thing I will say about Super is, and this kind of like deviates so much from Dragon Ball Z and even Dragon Ball Z Kai. Super, I really appreciated because of like once it started over here, it just went boom, 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 boom.
But yeah, but I will tell you this. I think the time has come for you to actually watch Dragon Ball in Japanese.
Yeah, I should do that.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I would say that my first question is this: have you ever watched an anime in Japanese?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
You have no issues with it?
Not really.
Okay, thank God for that. So then you can easily watch Dragon Ball: The Galactic Patrol when it comes out in Japan.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
I mean, I think like look for like story wise, I think like you should start with this with like the original Japanese dub, and then later, just because the English dub you can repeat everything.
Yeah, and the English dub, I mean, I'm kind of figuring if it comes out late 2027 in Japanese, it'll probably come early 2028 for us because they're pretty good at getting that stuff. That was one of the complaints with Daima is like the release schedule over here. But I think they get them dubbed fairly quickly. I mean, I think probably early 28 we'll probably actually get it over here.
I want to ask you a question. Like, do you think after the Galactic Patrol announcement, do you think when they're like finished with the production of like the actual animation and the Japanese voiceover and everything, do you think the English dub will already start its own production?
I think it probably will.
Like, it will definitely be released somewhere around 2028. I guess like it will be early 2028 because like I think that they did the same thing with Daima.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll definitely think it's gonna be early 2028 for you.
I would say I hope they don't do the first 3 episodes in the movie theater like they did Daima, because while I liked the idea of doing that, the first 3 episodes were like nothing.
So, honestly,
like, why do why the first 3 episodes? Why not the first 5?
Honestly, the whole theater thing, I think like for the Galactic Patrol, I have a feeling they might actually repeat that.
I mean, I'll probably still go if they do that because I love Dragon Ball. So, but I don't know. I hope the release schedule is better. I hope they do it a lot better than they did Daima over here, because that was the only thing. And you know what they should have done with Daima, in my opinion, over here? I don't think they should have had week by week. I think they should have just done it all at once.
Look, the English dub maybe, but like the Japanese, there's no fucking way they will do everything at once. Because just like they do on, like, for example, HBO or Amazon, or let's just say Disney Plus or Hulu before it shuts down. like the Japanese like anime, they're like it's a tradition for them to release them like one episode per week,
That
which is
made me
which is basically on Sunday.
that made me think. In Daima, at least over here, there wasn't the episodes I've seen. There weren't the narrator wasn't as present. Doc Morgan. I wonder if they're going to have a narrator for Super Galactic Patrol.
I think they will. I think they will.
That made me think one of the best episodes of Dragon Ball Super. So there were two episodes. The one where they're trying to throw Goku off from discovering Monaka is not strong.
Yeah.
And Vegeta's like, or Piccolo's like, "You're a bad actor, Vegeta." And Piccolo's like, or Vegeta's like, "Says you." But no, but I love that, especially because it's the voice actor talking to himself. But then I also liked the episode where they're looking for people for the first tournament between Beerus and Champa, and the narrator actually starts arguing with Goku. And it kind of breaks the third wall a little bit.
Yeah.
It was kind of a little bit stupid because like that's never happened in Dragon Ball, but like at the same time, I thought that was hilarious.
By the way, I want to ask you, the Omni King.
Yes.
What kind of a voice did he have in English? Did he have the
like
same?
little,
Did he have the same like childish squeaky voice?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god. Because
it bothered me at first, but I kind of grew on me.
I mean, you have to also remember that's Akira Toriyama. That is definitely his style. Like you have this small, small looking, cute like character, and you think like oh okay, like so he's small, but he's gonna have a very deep, powerful voice and everything. And then basically, when the character says the first few words, he basically sounds like someone was squeezing his balls.
Well, I mean, better than Piccolo Jr.'s original voice when he was little.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think that for me in the English dub that didn't even really fit him.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, so one thing I also wanted to add to the Galactic Patrol thing, like I mentioned before, it's going to be released like in the fall of in the late 2027, which I think it will be just like Daima, somewhere between September, October, November, like that time. And I think honestly, for them not returning as like like an actual anime like Dragon Ball Super Part 2, and basically instead going like in the same direction as Daima did, which is basically like one arc turning into like almost like a mini series basically. I think it's the best idea. I think it's like the very best idea they had. I think like it would be, because that way like we talked about a little bit before, because they can concentrate more on like the animation, the details, the like the voiceover, like they can basically make this anime like a lot more better, unlike for example what they did with Dragon Ball Super when they were doing like saga per saga per saga per saga, with like basically coming all together at once.
Now, so there's not, that made me think, so the Daima stuff, there's not any manga that's based on, right? That's just like anime.
That's a pure original anime that was written by Akira Toriyama, like pure anime.
Then my guess is the more I think about this, so they're gonna do the Galactic Prisoner arc. That's the next one. Then they're probably gonna do Granola. I mean, again, I'd be shocked if they don't. And then they'll do the superhero stuff. And then after that, that's where the manga ends, and that's probably where at least that will end. But then continuing beyond that, I don't know. I kind of think they might, and this would be years from now, but I kind of think they might go back to, because I don't see them, me personally, I don't know if I see them continuing the manga without Toriyama, but could I see them continuing the anime without Toriyama? Maybe, but the only way they could do that is continue on from Daima.
Here's what I think might happen. Because like I said, the very first red flags were basically unleashed when I think like Dragon Ball is under Toei Animation, I think. When they basically it's under Toei Animation. So when Toei Animation basically, or the magazine where basically Akira Toriyama was publishing his chapters, the first red flags were unleashed, when they asked like other creators, if they wish to continue the Dragon Ball franchise. And so far, from the people I've seen, none of them wanted to touch Akira Toriyama's work. Like none of them actually wanted to continue his overall work, because they felt like it would be disrespectful. And I even remember one of the mangakas actually saying that, because they asked this particular mangaka, they asked him as well to do it, but like he didn't want to touch them because Dragon Ball, in his point of view, he said something like this. He was describing that if he touched Dragon Ball, it would have not been the same anymore, because in his point of view, Akira Toriyama was unique. He had his own unique style, unique characters, unique storytelling. Even the humor was like unique in Akira Toriyama's way. So he said if anyone tries to touch that or try to continue, he thinks that Dragon Ball will be changed forever. Like it will not be the same as like Akira Toriyama did, like ever since, like all the way since he passed away.
See, the only way I could see a director doing that, I could see some creator doing that, is pick up the Daima stuff. That'd be the only avenue I could really see them going.
I mean, look.
Well, actually, I'll say that differently. I think that would be the only avenue I could see them doing if the redo of Beerus doesn't make Daima canon. Because if you have Daima sitting out there that's not canon, then somebody could theoretically come in and continue that, because it would be kind of like a zero-sum game. Because if it wouldn't be canon to everything else, then it would be a zero risk. But I mean, I don't know.
I mean, look, I was, continuing with what I just said. Like the very first thing, no creator wanted to touch Akira Toriyama's work. That's like those were like the first red flags. The other ones, I think like what's going to happen now. Again, I might be wrong. They might actually choose someone to actually continue his work. Who knows? But the way how I see it, the probability is that after they've done with the Dragon Ball Super in general, like after they are done like with all the sagas, I think that's where Dragon Ball will kind of officially end. And the only way how I can see them actually continuing doing this is only through like Dragon Ball movies. I think like that's the only way.
You could do that.
I think like if they wish to continue like the storyline after the Dragon Ball Super events, I think the only way they can do this is basically through Dragon Ball movies, because I don't think after Dragon Ball Super is done, I don't think we'll see more like anime series of Dragon Ball. Go ahead.
You know what I think we're going to see after Dragon Ball Super is done?
What?
And I'm going to be cautiously optimistic that if I'm right, that it works out. I think, so we talked about earlier, you have Hans Zimmer who did that, and then you have a couple actors in Hollywood who have done things in their movies Dragon Ball inspired. I'm just thinking of Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger. His costume was, that was Vegeta. So, you have Hollywood that kind of like, you have a lot of fans in Hollywood of Dragon Ball, and you have Hans Zimmer. Something tells me that somebody in Hollywood is going to get the rights to try live action again.
Look, actually, that's another thing that I actually wanted to add before you start your own thoughts. I was kind of thinking, because again, we were going through how can Dragon Ball continue. So besides Dragon Ball anime movies, the other way how Dragon Ball basically could still live on to kind of keep the legacy alive is through live action. Because you have all these sagas, you have all these arcs from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super, You have so many of these arcs that you can easily go through all of them, in live action, and kind of like making it like its own version of Dragon Ball. So I guess like that's another way how the Dragon Ball could be alive still, but just like with One Piece live action, they need to have someone who respects Dragon Ball, who knows the lore, who knows the characters, and how to treat the overall storyline and everything.
Yes.
So, and with One Piece, I mean, just look at One Piece live action. Like, the season 1 was a massive success because the people on board, they knew the source material. They respected and everything. So the biggest challenge, to make it possible, because I think personally that the only way you can keep Dragon Ball alive with live action, I think it would be better as a TV show rather than a movie.
Well,
but
the thing about Dragon Ball as a TV show is one thing you could do if you like had a strong cast is like you could like cast somebody young as Gohan and like sort of like have it grow with them.
And honestly, you can do the same thing with Goku.
Yeah.
You like if you start with the original Dragon Ball, you can easily like cast as a child as Dragon Ball as a Goku, and then basically either like continue with the actor who's now older, continue with the same actor, or you basically when Dragon Ball Z starts, you can basically recast him with someone else.
The only thing I would, and this might be controversial, but the only thing I might do, I'd have to think about it, would depend who else would audition for the role. But the only actor who was in Evolution who I think they could bring back, I mean, they'd have to rework his character. They'd have to make it closer to the anime. But James Marsters, I could see as Piccolo.
James Marsden.
James Marsters.
Marsters.
I would almost want to give him another chance because I feel like he tried his best. I don't think he was necessarily miscast either. I just think they didn't do him well.
I don't know. I mean, so far, I mean, like I said, we're still far away before Dragon Ball is like officially done. So we can talk about like all sorts of like thoughts and theories and everything, but we just have to wait and see. But even though when it comes to actors right now, like I really have no one in my mind who can actually play those characters. And also, speaking of like Dragon Ball in general, every single season they do Dragon Ball, every single season like their budget is gonna have to go bigger and bigger because like there's a lot of characters you can do with prosthetics. I mean, I guess you can do Frieza, Cell with prosthetics. Like I don't think that they should be CGI, but I think Kid Buu and the other versions of Majin Buu, I think like you can do with prosthetics. Majin Buu, I think he will be the only one. I think the fat one. I think he will be the only one who is like CGI.
Yeah.
But others, I think you can do with prosthetics. But everyone else, I mean, there's so many characters, so many worlds, so many fights that will go crazier and crazier as like Dragon Ball goes deeper. So yeah, trying to turn anime and manga into live action, like it's very expensive.
Yeah.
But we just have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the only possible way besides movies, the only possible way you can keep it alive is through live action. Because again, I repeat, like I don't think as a TV show, I don't think we'll see Dragon Ball continuing that path ever again.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think, I mean, like I said, the only way I could see anybody even wanting to touch it is maybe looking at continuing Daima. But even that, I'm not told that somebody will do it. I also think what could happen is that after they finish the superhero stuff, that they then like take a break and they like reevaluate. So I think that at least after the superhero stuff's done, I think that there's going to be a major gap.
I don't know. I mean, maybe maybe, but maybe. I mean, if they do it through Dragon Ball movies, I don't think there will be a gap. But yeah, I mean, anything is possible. But again, it's a little bit difficult for me to answer these questions because, like, again, we are far off before Dragon Ball actually like, officially finishes.
Yeah.
So yeah, but but still, even today, like, it's a very good question, like, to see how Dragon Ball might continue its legacy, or it might become one of those animes that, like, okay, it's finished, we're gonna shelve it.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, look. The reality is, every single story, no matter how much we like it, every single story always has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah.
And I think with Akira Toriyama's passing, because, like, one thing for sure, if Akira Toriyama was still alive, like, Dragon Ball will still go like full speed ahead.
Yeah.
But with him gone, I don't think, like I said, after Dragon Ball Super is done, I don't think he will go further than that.
Yeah.
You know, but we just have to wait and see. Do you have anything more to add?
No, I think I have it. I think I added. I think I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, like, to summarize everything, like, I'm really excited for Dragon Ball Super: The Galactic Patrol to finally being turned into an anime. I cannot wait to see Moro. I cannot wait to see the type of animation they're gonna have. But I definitely believe it's gonna be on the same level as Daima was. Absolutely. And I can even bet you anything. I can even bet you that it's gonna be there's gonna be some scenes or sequences. They're going to be a mixture of 3D and 2D.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think so. Yeah,
absolutely, for sure. So yeah, I mean, so far you and I, we're going to have to be patient until like 2027 comes and everything.
Yeah.
And with that, we have finished another Shadow Council episode. One more time, do we have any more to add?
Nope, I'm good, I think.
Okay, good. I mean, like I said, this time the Shadow Council episode will be a little bit more shorter than our traditional videos that we usually do. But yeah, with all that being said, here we are done, guys. You all know the tradition. Rate the video, comment, like, subscribe, give your personal thoughts and ideas, what you are excited to see about Dragon Ball Super: The Galactic Patrol, your personal thoughts about the Beerus and Resurrection F enhanced remaster. What did you thought about Dragon Ball the 40th anniversary trailer? What do you think about the future of Dragon Ball is going to be? Everything in general, just put in the comment section down below. And of course, if you wish to see previous Shadow Council episodes, the link is going to be in the video description down below as well. And until then, stay tuned.
Vote on your favorite co-host.
Just please do me a favor and just simply vote for him, okay? Let's just end this, please. Let's just end this. Yeah. So yeah. With all that being said, stay tuned for more. See you guys soon. As always, Lord of Shadows signing off.
TK the Lucky Bastard out.
See you soon. Or as I like to say, later, fuckers.